am Angie Ellington, and welcome to Southern Sass Chats. My guest today is an actress who has worked both in front of the camera and behind the camera and on multiple projects and in multiple genres. Please welcome Sydney Sabiston.
Hi. Hi, Angie.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. I know you're an hour behind me and it's Saturday morning, so I appreciate taking the time to be ready by 11 a.m. for our chat.
I'm an early riser. I'm a morning person, so it's really no problem at all. I've already had my cup of coffee, so.
Awesome. And do I see a pet behind you? Is that
It's
your
Winnie.
dog? I think
Yeah,
there we
Winnie.
go. Oh,
Hi, Winnie.
what's your dog's name?
Winnie.
Winnie. So it's a she. Oh, hi, Winnie.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
love for pets to make an appearance. I say
Yeah.
we
She's
because
a tripod. She's missing one leg. Her front right leg is missing.
now that you're saying that, I have noticed that, your pictures and everything. I think
Yeah.
that's amazing. She's just
Yeah.
around loving life and doing well.
Yeah.
Here she comes.
Yeah, she's a big suck. She's a mommy's girl, so yeah.
Oh, I wish I could leave my dog in for these Zooms, but she is a rescue and she's still a little crazy. Like she would be in here barking very loudly and like
Yeah.
jumping on me. She's not ready for the camera
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah, Winnie's a rescue too, so she whines a lot for affection. So just keep that in mind if
Oh
that
no,
happens.
that's amazing. If Lily were calm enough, I would have her in here, but she would literally knock me out of the chair to get it to get up here. So it's best for her right now to stay out. And then I have cats too, but they're in
Nice.
another room because they would be all over in front of me.
Yeah,
I'm afraid they
wanting your
would end our Zoom. All right. Well, we'll get started. How did you get your start in acting?
so I've always wanted to work in film ever since I was really young. My dad would really push me to work in film. I'm not sure why. I think it's just because we love movies growing up, and he used to always say, Sydney, you're gonna be a woman director one day. Like he used to, just because it's an underrepresented um, field for women directors. I mean, it's getting better recently. Like I've seen so much growth, and that's really amazing. But my dad really pushed that for me, so I did end up just pursuing it my whole life, like going into film festivals and mentorships. And then I went to university to actually get a degree in filmmaking. And my university, the University of Winnipeg, to get a degree in film, you needed to take a performance course. And I loved it. And my professors at the time said I showed promise. And even one of my professors set up my first ever audition for me because he said that I needed to do it. And through that guidance and mentorship, long story short, I ended up booking my first role in Channel Zero. It was a sci-fi series that shot here. And the rest is kind of history. I just fell in love with acting a little bit later in life. I always loved and appreciated performance. I just never really considered that that could be an option for me. So because it was made an option, I ended up really committing myself to it and falling in love um and here we are. And now my acting career and my career in film behind the camera as well, they work in tandem with each other, and I can just confidently say that my entire career is in the film industry, whether it's in front of or behind, and I feel really fulfilled with that.
Yeah, that's amazing. First of all, that you had a parent who really inspired you and gave you that encouragement to pursue that. You don't hear that every day, especially not from, you know, your dad, like a father-daughter relationship and wanting you to pursue film. That's amazing that you have that kind of relationship.
And I come from, like blue collar, lots of farming in my family as well. Like
Same. Same.
Yeah, yeah. Like it's not that people in my family, like a lot of people in my family are very creative. It's just that, um, it wasn't like it was not the norm kind of choice.
Absolutely. I know.
Yeah. And my mother is also incredibly supportive. It's just that my dad was the one to really push that. I don't want to say he pushed it on me. He just really fostered that. And then my mom was really the one that kind of later in my teens, she was the one that was available to take me to all these mentorship programs after school and knowing that like that was something that they wanted to foster and commit to. So, um
That's
yeah, I'm really grateful for that.
that is so wonderful. Yeah, I also grew up actually on a farm. My parents still had the farm. And I grew up acting also. I was doing a lot, but I was actually doing it early. Like, I was in theater and plays and talent shows and all the things. And um, my parents, my mom had me in everything. Like I grew up, I'm an only child. So it was okay, what do you want to do? Let's, I
Yeah.
did dance. I was, tried cheerleading. I was a Girl Scout for a while. I mean, I tried everything. I wanted to be very creative and well-rounded. And
Mhm.
my dad, though, was kind of like, okay, he just, as a farmer and just that was different for them. And that's something, in my area, that's not something that, like you said, it's not really the norm. People are a little
Mhm.
like, oh, okay, you want to be, an actress or whatever.
Mhm.
Okay. But then when they started to see you, like in the plays, like other people and myself, on stage and doing things, and they're like, oh, okay, I get it. This is fun, whether you pursue it professionally or not.
Mhm.
It's fun. It's a nice creative outlet.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I love when people from a smaller town or who have like farming backgrounds and things. I love it when I find out that they have also pursued dreams and they have
Yeah.
been successful at them, because you have been successful and
Yeah.
you're still young when you're saying younger later in life. I wanted to laugh because
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's later in terms of my lifespan, but
right in your
I do
lifespan.
understand that that's maybe so a weird way of looking at it, but yeah.
Yeah, because even now, and I say even now because as I am starting to get older, I'm starting to show my age a little more, but people are still surprised to find my age out. They still think that I'm a little younger than I am. So I'm like, I'm gonna hold on to that
Yeah.
as long as I can.
Yeah.
I've never, like as long as you think it, that's okay. If you want to put
Yeah,
me 10 years
exactly.
younger, I'm good with that.
Yeah. I tend to age like fine wine,
There you
so
go.
all that
There you
matters.
go. Love that.
Yeah, lots of
Um,
this. Yeah.
and I know that I was reading, your bio and stuff, and you've done a lot. I mean, you grew up making short films. You worked as an assistant director on at least one or two projects.
Yeah,
You've been behind the
more than
scenes.
that, more than I did. I worked as an assistant director for a couple years, so it's just I can't even remember how many I've done, but it was definitely a great way for me to get more involved in the, filmmaking process and learn more and get involved in the community. And I paid off my student debt, so it was pretty great.
That's right. Yeah, I've been through that too. And yeah, that's amazing because you understand the inner workings of a
Mhm.
film. So, a lot of people watch a movie and they just see, oh, the glamorous side. This is the finished product. You're not
Mhm.
seeing all of the long hours and working into the wee hours of the morning,
Yeah.
to film a particular scene. And can you tell me a little bit about some of your experiences with, working in maybe what people would be surprised to find out about filming? Like if you've had to film a scene in the middle of the night or be on set at 4 a.m. or something like that,
Yeah.
that people would be surprised to find out, or just a little something that they would see on screen that was nothing like that behind the actual shot.
Um, Movie, like working in film and television, that I just like that's how you really come to believe that magic is a real thing because movie magic is unlike any other. I will say it did affect the way that I watch movies, which is can be tough sometimes. Um, but it's only because like when I was an AD, for example, I would end up having to maybe hide in little tight crevices like underneath the camera to cue background actors. And when they would start walking into frame, or I would have to cue the main actors to like when they would need to, because sometimes they can't hear what's going on. So I have to send them around a door so they can enter into their scene. And um, I think people, you know, always maybe think about when you're watching a movie that consider, oh, there could be a PA hiding underneath a desk right there. And cueing background in this very moment is something that people would never even think about when they're watching a movie, but
And I'm going
it's
to think about that now. That's fun.
yeah, like you can, and understanding that there's a whole team of people right there, um, supporting what's being filmed. You forget about that and forget about how many people it really takes to get everything together and to make a movie come to life. It's hundreds of people. And I think people would be really shocked by that. I mean, people read about this stuff online. Like, I don't know if it's really that shocking, but to see it come to fruition and see what everybody brings to the table is truly unlike any other. And I think also people don't even realize that their everyday skills, like their maybe trades that they work in, can really apply to working in the film industry. Like there's the electrics department, grips department, where they put up all of these, you know, huge rigs and help support the camera department and
And
I like
hairdressers.
carpenters.
And
Yeah, exactly.
my mom was a
Hairstylists, makeup
hairdresser and she's
artists.
retired. So I think about
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Yeah, costume designers and I'm not even really getting into how big those departments really are, because there's a specific person for a specific part of that job within that department. So, I mean, I know that that's not really, I kind of get into that a lot because I always want people to think about what they're pursuing now. And if they have a love for movies, like think,
Yeah. And you're also on set here. I know it's very cold a lot of times in Winnipeg. So
oh,
you
yeah,
probably had to work in like extreme cold.
yeah.
Here in North Carolina, it's extreme heat. And I think I would take the cold over the heat, but you're
I
just like,
mean,
I don't know.
well, Winnipeg actually gets really hot in the summer as well. Like we just have such different weather conditions to manage, but I can't imagine it's anything North Carolina. I've never been, so I'm
It's
sure
the humidity
it's
here that's
it's
the
not.
problem.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not anything. But the cold can get pretty cold. Like we can get to -50 Celsius, and that's pretty insane. But you learn to dress for it. Luckily in Winnipeg, it's not like a wet cold, it's more of a dry cold. So I do find that you can dress for it. If you layer up, you can manage. If we were by the ocean, I feel like that would cut right through your coat and you would
Yeah.
yeah, you would not be able to manage that way, but I
Yeah.
like it.
So and that brings me to Winnipeg being a destination for many Christmas movies and fall movies and that type of season. And I'm going to get to a movie you filmed last year that was going on at the same time Apple Hill was, because,
Yeah.
like my book was being adapted and Rachel Linden's book was being adapted. Well, we're going to circle right back to that. But because we're talking about the cold for a second, you worked on Holiday Hotline
Yes.
and Under the Christmas Sky.
Yeah.
Was when you filmed those, I know it wasn't cold when you filmed them because you normally film in the late spring to summer or whatever. But
Which is another thing that would shock people because, like, set deck just makes it look like it's filled with snow. But a lot of the time, the Hallmark movies and the Christmas movies that are filmed here, it's in the summer.
yeah,
And you would never know.
that's what I was going to say. I was like, we would say, oh, well, that would be the perfect place to film a winter movie. But No, because you don't typically film them in the winter because it's just way
Yeah.
too cold.
Yeah, like we kind of slow down in the winter months compared to how busy it gets in the warmer months. So yeah.
So, what was it like working on Hallmark Christmas movies?
It's very magical. I love Christmas. I love the cozy. I love Christmas movies. I love Hallmark movies. Um, the set's just magical. What everybody brings to the table. I'm always like I'm always blown away by sets and props and what they set up. Like I always come in and say, oh my gosh, I can never make my living room look this amazing.
I know. Could you come
So
over
I
to
get
my
yeah,
house?
I always get to like live my, Home Alone, warm Christmas spirit fantasy when I get to do a Hallmark Christmas movie. So, it's also like having Christmas in July, which I
Yeah.
really love. Um, yeah, I, everybody's just happy and, you know, I get to work with a lot of people that I've worked with for years. And I mean, that applies to every movie that I do here. So that's always nice. But there's like this kind of, family experience that I get to have.
Hmm.
So it's like coming home kind of thing.
Yeah. Are you
And yeah,
working
I
on
just,
one for this year?
no, not this year. I mean, I just auditioned for one. I'm always auditioning for what's going on here. But no, not yet. Hopefully soon, maybe next year, I'm manifesting some
Well,
stuff.
you definitely had some stuff going on, and we're gonna get to that in another genre in just a second. But tell us a little bit about working on the magic of lemon drops.
Oh, I really connected with that script because even though it was about, like, it's that script, I just love. It's so special because it's about family. Like, I find that Hallmark movies, no matter the time of year, they touch on love and whether it's romantic, friendship, family. And I just really appreciated that this movie, like, I felt like really sat in the love of family. I just really appreciated that, and it really warmed my heart. I really connected with it because the sister dynamic, that relationship, I felt like was really special. Having a sibling, like I don't have I feel like I have a sister because my best friend and I are like sisters, and people ask if we're twins all the time, or if we're sisters or twins, and it's really special. But I also have a younger brother. So I just really, really wanted to be in a movie where I felt like it was representing a sibling dynamic. And McLean, the director, he told me that he really got that from me. He felt like, I was that little sister kind of spirit that he needed, and that really warmed my heart when he told me that. And
Yeah, that's always
um,
great to get praise from the director.
yeah. And the producing team, they were like Sam, she was amazing. And uh, you know, I just think that everybody on you know, that team was just so loving and the lead actors were so amazing. And yeah, I just had a really wonderful experience and I really got that. I learned a lot from that experience. And I think it made me a stronger actor. And I felt like I almost felt more comfortable expressing that kind of love from that movie. So when I watched it, the final product, the scene, the mother-daughter scenes made me cry. I think that everyone who watches that movie would come out of it feeling that warm feeling and wanting to give their parent a hug. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's just such a special movie. I love it.
Yeah. I loved it. I did. I adored it because that one came out like I think that came out in August, and then Apple Hill was October. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch Lemon Drops because I had talked with you, and I'm like, Sydney's in this one,
Yeah, because that's kind
and
of how we met.
yeah,
Because Apple Hill was filming at the same time.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you messaged me to say about something, and I was like, "Oh, are you Nora?" Because I was trying to find out like who was in this movie,
Yeah.
and then you were the one who told me about Sarah,
And
and
Sarah's one of my best friends, so I was just like, no, but you're gonna be so happy with Sarah. She's amazing.
yeah, and so then
Yeah.
I connected with her. Yeah, so I'm like, I feel like I have become friends with many of the Winnipeg actors through
Yeah.
the movies and then just chatting with you all about your different movies and stuff. And I've had a few of you on now. So
Yeah.
that's
And
been
we're all
fun.
close. Like I would say, like I'm close with Sarah and Derek and Carolina and a lot of the other actors here. Like I think we all keep very tight. Like we're a close circle that we support each other and we love to see each other do really well. And it always feels really fantastic to see Winnipeg growing in the way that it has been. So yeah, it's just easy to stay in touch like that.
Yeah. And that's so wonderful when you have, a community of friends who are all kind of working the same field and you can feed off of each other and support each other. And, that's just great. And you've also worked in another genre. And as I was reading, I found out you are a huge fan of the Scream Queen horror genre.
Yes,
And
yes.
tell me about your love of the horror movies and about Time Cut on Netflix and how well it's done.
Oh, well, I'm a huge horror movie fan. I just think it's such an expansive genre. Like you can, I just think there's so many elements in horror that you can have, and I really appreciate that. I love when I get to work on a horror movie, just the stakes are so high. So I really get to have that adrenaline and I get that excitement and
Total opposite of Hallmark style. So you get to
yeah,
really stretch from one
you
way
know,
to the other.
they really like teach you different things, which I really appreciate. But something about I've always loved horror movies ever since I was young, so I think it was just maybe something that I had manifested, and there's just been times where I felt so passionate where I went into a project loving the script so much where I felt like this is meant for me, and it ended up happening. And I just felt like this is where I'm meant to be working, like the genre I'm meant to be working in. So it feels like I have a special place in my heart whenever I get the opportunity. So,
Yeah.
um, and there's just so much talent in the genre too that I really admire. So yeah. Time Cut we filmed in COVID. And so that was like an extra element, like an extra layer. And it was honestly the first role, the first big role that I had booked at the time. So um the pressure was on, but it was a supportive group. I got to work with some heavy hitters and big actors, and that was um it was kind of an easy experience in the sense that they were welcoming. Like they taught me a lot and they were so fantastic to work with and hilarious
And you
and
got to
kind.
scream. You got to be a scream queen.
Not just for like 16-hour days. Because like that part in the movie where, the killings happen, they happen so quick, but they took like I want to say it was like two 16-hour days or so. I can't remember. It was they were long and I had escalator bruises all over my body from that escalator. But luckily, I'm not the one that had to fall on it. My like amazing stunt woman named Kristen Sawatsky, who works in Winnipeg, she works as a stunt performer, actor, stunt coordinator. She's so talented. She also shot my headshots because she's a talented photographer as
Oh,
well.
awesome.
Yeah, she's the one that really took all of the escalator falls. So she just made me look really good.
Yeah. Is
Wasn't
it
even
one
me.
of the ones that I used that I found from IMDb in your pictures that I when I put up
Yes,
your little
yes.
thing? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
all
like,
of
oh
my
my gosh,
headshots
this
are
is
shot
such
by
a
her.
beautiful photo of
Yeah,
her.
all of my headshots are shot by her. I love working with Kristen. She's fantastic. So
Yeah. Well, and she also had, a pretty subject to work with. And I mean, like you have got the hair of Julia Roberts. Like everyone just like notices your beautiful red hair. So
yeah.
it really reminds me of like you remind me of a young Julia Roberts. So
Oh, that's really sweet. I watched Pretty Woman for the first time, like my partner and I for the first time this year, which is embarrassing because that's a classic. So I can't
yes,
believe it. But we were obsessed, like
yes,
obsessed. So it's probably up there for one of my favorite movies now. So I'm shocked it.
yes. Yeah, oh yes, total classic.
Yeah. But Time Cut was like a really encouraging experience. I kind of got into that phase of when is this gonna come out? Because we we shot it
Yeah, I
so
didn't realize it shot so long,
yeah.
before then.
Exactly. So I kind of ended up forgetting about it over time because I think I just almost obsessed over when it was going to come out because I was so excited and proud of it. So then when it finally did come out, and I was in the trailer, it just was like an out of this world experience. I freaked out. I'm sure I have like a video on my Instagram, I think, of my best friend filming my live reaction because people were sending it to me saying, "Oh my gosh, the time cut trailer came out and you're in it." And I got to have that experience and I was just like overjoyed. And then Netflix invited me to the premiere in LA. So I took my best friend because when we were young, because my best friend also works in film, she's an editor and a post-production supervisor. So like we've always kind of just had this journey together. So we've always said, red carpet, we're bringing each other.
Yeah.
So I got to have that experience and having another really close friend of mine, Megan Best, she's in the movie with me and she came with us to the obviously to the premiere and I think it was an experience unlike any other, and I hope to have more of those in the future. But if that's the only time for me, like to get to LA red carpet, I'm set.
Bucket list item. You can say you've done it.
Exactly. No other
Absolutely.
expectations. Anything after that is just the cherry on top for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, are you working on anything for the next year or anything like that? Are you auditioning or anything?
Yeah, yeah, I'm always auditioning. It's a tough industry where you just don't know what's ever gonna come of it. I do create my own work in the meantime, so I have scripts brewing for that as well. So that's really nice. I just released my own short that did really well in the festival circuit, so I'll
Awesome.
probably randomly post it because it's already had its festival run. So, and that did really well. And I have a few other scripts in mind for that.
Well, you'll
For
have to send me the link if it's
yeah, I will.
already out and available to do so we can
Yeah.
share that
Yeah,
now.
for sure.
Because
Yeah.
Carolina and they're working on one too, but because it's being looked at for a festival, we
Mhm.
can't publicly have that out there yet. But yours,
Yeah.
I can
I'm
attach the
working on
link.
and I'm working on one of their short films like this month that
Oh wow,
they're filming.
cool.
Yeah, so that's really exciting because like again, we're all close and that feels really exciting. And I love supporting them and they always support me, like Derek and Carolina. They're a dynamic duo. I love them. They're a great team. And I have a movie that I'm in coming out to theater. I don't know if it's going to be a theatrical release actually, called Psycho Killer. That's another horror movie. So and that was the first horror movie, by the way, that I've worked on where I actually felt scared on set. Like
Oh
I
wow.
felt uneasy. I felt actually genuinely freaked out.
Did you
Um,
have any supernatural experiences?
no, it was just the energy, the it just I felt a little uneasy. I was like, oh, I'm actually kind of scared.
Yeah.
Watching the monitor and seeing what was going to happen. So I'm sure people will get that same experience when they go to see it. I'm really excited about that. It comes out in February. A trailer hasn't been released yet, so I'm excited to see that. Um,
Make sure
and
you burn some sage around you or something, make sure
yeah, no
get some
kidding.
protection in there.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that and just working on my own stuff in the meantime. So
I love it. And what is the name of your short film that's out now from
it's
the
called
festival?
Clem. It will be out
Okay.
like very soon. It'll be out, but
Okay.
it's called Clem.
Okay.
And
Oh, I did see that on your IMDb. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's called Clem. So, and I work with Lindsay Nance on that. She's one of I cast her as my co-lead, and she's a fantastic actor. And I love a lot of documentary, and I love documentary working in documentary. They do narrative as well, but doc is kind of where it's really at. And I think, as a Canadian actress, I want to see a lot more independent Canadian films being made. There's still a lot, but I would love to see even more um, of those kind of opportunities. Like I said, I'm always rooting for women in key roles in film, and I'm seeing that more and more, and I would love to see that increase as well. Um, that's something that I'm really passionate about. Um, and yeah, it's hard to say because with everything that has happened, the industry changing, it's hard to see what direction you want it to go in because there is growing pains, and those are important um, to withstand, so that way those changes can happen.
Yeah.
Um, so it's kind of a harder question to answer because all I can really say is that I just hope for more opportunities for up and coming um, filmmakers and newer actors to be seen because I just don't know. It's hard to say like where the industry is kind of sitting right now because of those growing
Yeah.
pains. But we're
No
going
one
to
has
be,
that crystal ball of where
yeah,
it's going to go.
yeah,
But
but
your
like,
answer is great because,
yeah.
you know, I asked a challenging question because I wanted it to come right, like off the cuff there. And, your answer was great. You want to see up and coming filmmakers, you want to see more women in film, and you want to see, expanded genres and whatnot. And that's the perfect answer because no one knows what the future is going to hold. Everything goes in a circle in entertainment. So, it could come back. What's old is new again happens all the time. So, 5 years from now, we could be in a much better place with the
Mhm.
film industry than we are at this particular moment. It could be worse. We don't know, but just staying optimistic and trying to, you know, take work when you can get it, when it's a project for you that you like, and continuing to promote. And like you said, you're making your own films. You're taking it into your own hands. You're like, I'm going to make this. I None of this affects my ability to tell stories that I love and write scripts and do things that I want to do. And I love that you all are making your own projects because outside of just the work side of the industry, it's fun
Mhm.
and you want to have fun and create. And that's the main thing.
Yeah, exactly. Supporting people in within the community as well is very important to me. So as much as I love to find mentorship, I would hope that one day I could provide some sort of resource for, young filmmakers or just anyone who, would need any sort of direction. I try my best. I don't have all the answers, and nothing that my direction, like what I took, the path I took is never is it's not like always the right answer or and a lot of this industry is luck, it's who you know, it's luck, it's connections, putting yourself out there, which is really tough to do. Being vulnerable, that's really tough. Um, but uh I feel really fulfilled when I see when I get those opportunities, of course, but then also when I see people that I believe in getting those, getting their laurels and um I almost get that kind of secondary sense of like pride and
Yeah.
that fulfillment as well. So I feel lucky that not all of my eggs are in the basket of like me like feeling like I need to just be always active. That's taken a lot of years of work. And I still have moments where I feel down because maybe I'm not, maybe I haven't been on set for a bit, but then I kind of look at the bigger picture and seeing my community growing, and it really does take a village. And so I kind of ground myself again, and that's kind of all I can really ask for out of the industry because it is so fickle, and that's all I really. I like to see that there is progress. It doesn't have to be for me per se, but I feel that encouragement
Yeah.
that I see it is growing.
Yeah. And you were touching on, some advice for people going into the industry. And, I know you feel like, networking is a big thing for you, for everyone. But if you had any tips for people who wanted to become an actor and this coming out this year and they're like, okay, I'm going to start. I've never done anything. What would be one thing that you would say to a young actor who's 20 years old, just green completely. They don't know anything about hitting a mark or anything like that. They're going to be in their first, they're going to go to audition for something. What would you say to them if they're going for an audition?
Well, the easy answer is to take classes. You know, I understand that, I believe in accessibility as well, right? Because classes aren't always accessible for everybody. I understand that acting classes are, a pretty penny, and it's a tough time that we live in right now, in the economy. So if that's not something that you can afford, YouTube is honestly a great resource, that you can, um, practice monologues or practice getting a group of friends together and having a reader and practice um, an audition that way as well. I don't always want to say that you need to take classes if it's just not something that is reasonable for you. But there are free resources like that you can kind of start off with and really build a good foundation.
Yeah.
Um, and there are, support groups through Facebook even that you can join. If you maybe don't have an immediate close group of friends that are also interested in acting, you can kind of connect with those people. Like I know, for example, in Manitoba, we have like actor councils that put on events for other actors to connect with. And sometimes that outreach applies to non-union beginner actors and like, building that community. So finding your community is really important, I guess I would say. Like that's the kind of bigger advice than I can just say that I can give rather than just
Yeah.
say classes.
Yeah.
Um,
Make the connections, take the
yeah, like
classes, work on your craft. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like education is important, of course, but I just try to always give advice where it's accessible to everybody
Yeah.
because it's
Right.
really
And yeah,
important.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And that what you just said is great. YouTube, Facebook groups, look in your town and your community.
Grants,
Surely
like
there grants. Yeah.
yeah, that's a huge thing. Like look up grants in your area that maybe you can like apply for. There's lots of travel grants like that you can apply for and that's really important.
Yeah.
That makes things accessible. Even making your own short films, like you don't need a huge set of things. You can make a short film on your iPhone now.
Yeah. I've heard that.
And sometimes they go to festivals. Like sometimes those can actually do really, really well. So I
Yeah.
want people to think more about how they can creatively learn these skills with the resources that they already have and how they can apply that and learn from that. And then when you kind of have that good flat foundation, expand,
Right.
like have that money be worth it to push you forward.
Yeah.
So you already have a good foundation.
Those are excellent, excellent advice points for people.
Yes.
I love all of that. And that can be for anything, not just in acting. That's like for any profession. So that you're in, networking, making connections, looking for resources that fit your budget, and then maybe doing more later. That's all perfect advice. Perfect,
Yeah.
perfect. So we're gonna switch into some more like fun things, a little bit away from what you do for a living. What do you do in your downtime when you're not working? What do you do for fun?
I'm, oh goodness, I'm boring.
I'm boring too.
I'm boring. I feel like my fulfillment in life is work. So like what I do for my everyday job, I really, or like writing, I love that. I feel I used to be such an avid reader, but I fear that love has almost died a little bit just because I read so many scripts. So then I just don't make the same time. But like I would love to say reading, but that's just kind of on pause right now. But I'm really looking to get back into it. I'm simple. I love hanging out with Winnie. She's napping right now. My partner, him and I, find joys in just spending time with each other, hanging out with my best friends, family time. I like to I like to go fishing.
See, that's
Uh,
fun. So, yeah, you do all kinds. You're doing what normal people do.
yeah, like,
That's what
just
normal people do. Not everyone is, jet setting around the world for on their their
I mean,
downtime.
I do love to travel. I have traveled quite a bit. It's just not, I think I love finding the joy in the mundane,
Right.
the everyday parts of life. That's really where I love having a nice cold beer and a patio.
Yeah, sounds good.
You
Sounds
know, Kicking back
great.
like that, it's nice. But I also love to travel. Like my partner and I earlier this year, we went to Vietnam for my best friend's wedding.
I was just
Um,
going to say, where are some of the some places that you've been in
yeah,
travels?
I've been to South Korea, Vietnam now. I went to Rome. I've been all over England and Scotland.
Wow.
Yeah, a few places. Paris, I've been to. Um,
Well, see, you need to just sit around in the mundane because you've been all over the world. You've done the jet setting.
I need to sit the mundane so I can keep affording
There
to
you
be
go.
all over the world.
Exactly.
Yeah,
There
my
you
next goal is to focus more on the Canadian places because it's funny, I'm Canadian, but I haven't really explored where I'm even from. So
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna focus on I really want to go to the territories, so I think I really want to do that next. So
If
I
I
think
went
that's
to Canada, I would like to visit Nova Scotia,
yeah, that's a big
um,
one for me too.
the
Yeah.
Maritimes or whatever. It looks really pretty, which
Yeah, that's
I
beautiful.
can go to Maine and be close to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like I love the looks of it. And outside of Vancouver, like Vancouver Island looks really pretty also. Yeah, but I mean Winnipeg's got some cool stuff too. Everywhere has some cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's Winnipeg, like the perfect description that I always say to the Winnipeg that I know is if you look at like a small kind of it's not small. It is small. Sorry. Like in when you compare Winnipeg next to Toronto or Vancouver, it's tiny. In the world that I live in, it feels big in my everyday, but and then I go to Toronto and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like nothing in comparison. But what I see out of the parts of Manitoba that I see, it reminds me of a Hallmark town. Like that's what I see from it. I find I some people find that Winnipeg might be boring and small, but I think that if you can find we have such an amazing art district and there actually is quite a lot to do, but you just need to know where to find it.
Yeah, you just need to go look for it.
Yeah. And I find also in big cities, like people find their places, like they find their favorite spots. So like, are they really, more entertained that much? I feel like they'll get into their habits of going to their same places. So like, you don't need a lot, Winnipeg, you don't need a lot. There's fun, adventurous things to find within the small community. It's just you need to find
I'm
it.
a
That's
big coffee shop person too. I like to find
yeah,
different coffee shops or, and things like that too. And just, you know, find something fun to do and go just ride a bicycle around for, I see that. I see Carolina and Derek riding bikes and stuff. I mean,
yeah,
you can find fun things to do.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, believe me, I live in where I live, there's really nothing to do either. But I can go a little, like 30, 40 minutes away. And then there's like our capital city of Raleigh and stuff. But so it depends. But I like to go, I prefer actually would go to Wilmington down by the coast more than I go into Raleigh or Charlotte. Okay, we're gonna do a few rapid fire questions to kind of get to know you too. What is your favorite dessert?
Oh,
They're very random.
donuts. That's my
Donuts.
favorite with a coffee and just like a plain don't like a plain sugar like icing sugar, not
Glaze.
like glaze. Yeah, plain glaze with the coffee.
Cool. Um, which color would best describe you for your personality?
Oh,
Carolina was great with this. I was like still thinking about my own answer for it.
I would say like green, but I don't want to say forest green because I feel like that's more I feel like I don't want to say sensual, that's not the right word, but like um I'm pretty excitable. Like I'm always outgoing and happy and I'm always like full of energy, but I don't want to say a lime green because that's like because I feel like I have softer and deep moments and enjoy the quiet as
You're
well. So
multifaceted, just like
yeah,
green has multiple shades.
yeah, I think I'm just gonna go with your medium shade gray, green. But I identify as green.
I like it. Also, green looks great with red hair. So,
Yeah, that too. That too. Yeah.
um, I'm gonna come back to that one because it's similar. Rom-coms or mysteries? We know you like the horror, but
Yeah. I'm gonna go with lately it's rom-coms. But if there's a horror with a mystery element, but rom-com.
okay. If you could travel anywhere that you haven't been yet, where would it be?
I really want to go to the Yukon. I want to do that.
Do you like to
Yeah,
hike and do outdoor?
I do.
Actually, that's going to my next question. So, outdoor
Yeah,
activities or indoor? So we can lead in with that.
outdoor for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
What do you like to do outside? Canoeing?
Well, like I like to fish, like I said. But I love to go hiking. I just enjoy being outside. I like to be by the water. I'm a Cancer, so I just say I'm a water baby. When I can. Um, Manitoba actually had some really bad forest fires this year, so I didn't get to spend much of it. I have as really severe asthma, so I didn't get to spend much time out this year, but that's I was more concerned about the communities, obviously, that were affected by
Right.
it, but hopefully, I hope that it's under control, or gaining some control. It's always sad, but I
Oh,
would say
for sure.
outdoors. Yeah, outdoors is kind of where I belong.
Yeah. We the forest fires last year. There've been some really bad ones over the last 2 years in
Yeah,
the U.S. and in Canada, and we've had some in North Carolina too in our mountains because I'm in a state where we border the coast and we border mountains. So we have
yeah,
like either end in our state. And yeah, there was a really bad hurricane that came through last year.
mhm.
And then there were some fires. I mean, it's just, it's been bad,
Yeah,
I personally, I just pray for everyone involved, or just send them, good wishes or whatever, and whatever we can find to do to lessen these things from happening is great too. So,
yeah, and to support like affected communities is very important as well.
yes,
So,
yes, absolutely.
yeah.
Um, do you like to cook or prefer takeout?
Takeout for sure. My partner Ben, he's the cook in our family. So when he's working a longer day, I have girl dinner. I
Yeah.
don't even, yeah, like a couple
Yeah.
crackers.
I cook some, but I'm more of like a box girl. Like, give me a few ingredients, but don't
Yeah.
ask me to go make like some massive, well, first of all, I wouldn't eat lamb because I'm not going to eat lamb. That's just me.
Yeah,
But
fair.
because they're too cute. But don't ask me to make like a rack of lamb or something like that,
Yeah,
or cook a vine. Or, yeah, I would not
yeah,
even know what I was doing.
yeah.
I can
No,
make
like a
some.
perfect description of me. So I had the flu recently, and Ben, he cooked me like chicken soup from scratch.
Oh
That's
wow,
love. That is his love language to me. And then
yeah,
he, not long after, got sick, and I was just in a panic because I felt like I was almost failing him because I'm like, oh, I'm making you soup from a can. I swear I love you so much, but I'm making you soup from a can.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna. Yep, that's me. I'm like, I'm just gonna pour it out of the can. I can
Yeah.
put it in a fancy bowl.
Yeah. So I'm like, maybe I need to dedicate more time to learning how to cook because I want to be able
Drop
to do
some
that for
tarragon
him.
in it or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, my husband's birthday is coming up, so I am going to make some brownies. I'm pretty good at those, but they're mostly box brownies.
Yeah. I would be doing bogs.
Okay, favorite actor that you'd like to play? Oh, okay, let me say this again. A favorite actor that you would like to play you if there was a movie made about your life. I asked this question differently to people.
Um, Okay. Well, I guess current years, I would love Madeline Page. I hope I'm saying her name right. And then I've always loved Bryce Dallas Howard.
Oh, I could see that.
Love her. Jessica Chastain. See, I'm going with the redheads, obviously.
Yeah, see, I don't know the
Um,
first one. I'm gonna be on, I'll have to look her up.
she's yeah, she's close to my current age. So she was in like Riverdale.
Okay.
And I've watched a few of her movies. She's in the new Strangers movies, and I just think that she's wonderful. And I watch her press junkets, and like she's really funny. And
Sarah
so
mentioned someone from Riverdale too, or something. Anyway,
oh really?
I
Yeah,
asked her this
so
question too.
beautiful.
I asked different questions, and sometimes I twist it around the other way. But
Mhm.
yeah, I know Bryce Dallas Howard and Jessica Chastain. I know them both. I can see
Yeah.
either one of them right there.
Yeah, and Bryce Dallas Howard holds a special place in my heart because I think the first movie I ever saw her in was Lady in the Water, and I am a huge M Night fan. But that movie I watched when I was young with my dad, and that was like, the time where he would say like, "Oh, you're gonna work in film." So I don't know, it's just like Bryce Dallas Howard really holds a special place, you know?
We're gonna go with her. I'm gonna go with Bryce Dallas Howard.
Good.
Awesome. Roller coasters, yay or nay?
Nay, I get motion sick.
Me too. I do too. I do too.
Yeah.
And now that I've gotten older, I'm a scaredy cat of a lot of things now.
I can't
But yeah,
even
I
do
get
some
motion sick too.
elevators. Like some elevators make me feel sick, which is weird, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I We went on one cruise to Hawaii to Four Islands, and I had like the ginger tablets, the peppermint tablets, like the lozenges or whatever, and I was
Mhm.
wearing bands. And I took like it wasn't Dramamine, but something like it to make
Yeah.
sure. And we were fine, except for when we would leave port. The first like hour
Yeah.
leaving port, I would start to feel a little woozy, and then it would go away when I did all the things.
Yeah.
The rest of the time I was fine.
I
Yeah.
don't know if I could experiment with the cruise. I'd be too scared. I would be sick the whole
I
time,
know
but
I was afraid. I was like, please don't let
yeah.
me be sick. But um well, you did say you had your coffee earlier, but are you more of a coffee girl or an herbal tea girl?
I like both. It kind of just I have anxiety, so I try to limit 1 cup of coffee in the morning and then I'll switch to tea, so or hot water with lemon. Yeah.
I have
What else?
anxiety also, and it has gotten worse over the last few years. Because of a well, I'm not going to hide it. Once you reach your 40s, you go into perimenopause,
Mhm.
and you will start to feel lots of changes, and anxiety
Yeah.
is definitely one of them. So I really need to limit my caffeine a little more. I have usually 2 cups, but I really shouldn't have that second cup. It's just really hard for me not to.
Yeah, that's fair. Like even on set when we're doing like if we do like an overnight shoot, I really try not to have any coffee. If I can't, I might have one, but I'll like usually try to switch to decaf or just drink tea. So yeah.
Yeah, if I'm driving somewhere, like if I'm going on a road trip or something like that, I get anxiety for driving anxiety. So I try to either not drink it at all, or
Mhm.
I'll drink like 4 sips, and then I
Yeah,
pour it out because I'm like, okay, it's enough to just help. I'm a morning person, but it'll help me give that little boost without elevating it too much.
yeah,
And then I'll get the coffee once I get there. And I'm like,
yeah,
okay, I know where I'm at. I can drive around. I'm fine. But
yeah,
it's that daunting task ahead of me that I'm like, okay, I don't want to be all, anxiety
jittery.
ridden from my caffeine.
Yeah. You just like you ruins your day, because then it's just hard to come down from that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I thank you so much, Sydney, for coming on. I'm looking through to see, I'm like making sure that I did ask what I had on here. But you have been a wonderful guest. We've gotten such insight into how you got your start, your advice for actors, and some fun little things about you. Oh, wait a minute. I did forget one. I'm going to give you one that I gave to Sarah. If you were to describe your personality as an animal, what would it be?
Uh, oh goodness. I don't know.
And she said something about a cougar.
Oh, that is so Sarah. That is so Sarah.
And
Oh,
she said,
love
I
her.
think I would be the first one to get killed. And I just,
I love Sarah. Yeah, no, the cougar makes sense for Sarah for sure. Um, I don't know, like
someone else said a
maybe
cat.
I
That
I would maybe I would say a bunny just because like I am full of energy and I have times to find the quiet moments.
I love
Um,
that. See, it's so funny the things you never think about.
yeah, like I like I I always like to like I'll be all cute and I'll be like, "Oh, I'm like an otter because I love my partner and they mate for life." I'll say that to my partner all the time and I'm like, "Nah, I'm a bunny. Like I've got some energy." So, yeah. And
Yeah,
I'm scared of a lot of things. And so are bunnies. So it kind of
I like
applies.
that. I
Yeah.
like it. I can see that for you. 'Cause, you have that, little cutesiness too that bunnies have. So I think that's great. We have little wild bunnies that are out in our yard in the evenings. And it's funny because our dog, she has like a perimeter with her invisible fence.
Yeah.
And so she gets to the edge, the rabbits know how far she can go. They knew it with our dog we had for 10 years. And they know it with Lily because they'll just stay by our tree line and like it's almost like they
Yeah,
know
they'll
she's
like
barking.
I like when bunnies like bat their foots when they're like feet. Oh my gosh, feet when they're uh taunting or when they're mad. I think that's so funny. I love it.
Yes, I think
Yeah.
that's a great answer. I love that. Oh, it's just so fun. And I've enjoyed getting to know these personal little tidbits about you also. I say we a lot because I feel like there's the audience that are,
Mhm.
they're watching, so it's a collective we. But thanks so much for Sydney for coming on and taking some time on your Saturday morning to chat about
Of
your
course. Yeah, no,
movie and your favorite things.
I feel like we've chatted a lot, but I feel like we haven't been able to like really get to know each other. So this is really I was really excited that you reached out. So thank you so much for including me.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad that you could come on. I was gonna reach out to you earlier, and then my schedule just like all of a sudden, like a few people messaged me to come on, and then I was like, okay, and then I'm like, okay, now it's calming, it's slowing down.
And
So I
and
was like,
you're
let me
busy. You gotta write.
look. I was like, okay, and it was like, who do I want to ask? And I'm like, oh, I want to get Sydney on here, of course. So I was like, if I have Sarah on, I've got to get Sydney on.
Yeah, exactly. Sarah will be the cougar that eats the little bunny. Like she's yeah, Sarah and I are like the yin and yang for sure. Like yeah, I love Sarah. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Really
so
excited
funny.
to know that I did the show, so
Yeah. And
yeah.
if for anyone listening, just so you know who we're talking about, Sarah Luby and Sydney are really good friends. And they both, live in Winnipeg. And Sarah was in Autumn and Apple Hill. And so that's how we were talking about the two of them. And I interviewed Sarah. So you'll want to go and watch her chat too.
We were both in the Under the Christmas Sky together too.
That's
So that
right. They were both in Under the Christmas Sky. So if you want to go and watch that movie on Hallmark Plus or catch it when it airs this year, you can see both of them. And yeah, and you two need to do another movie together too.
I know we say that all the time. I mean, I helped her produce her short film. I'm so excited for people to see that. See that. It's such a beautiful film. But it's got to do the festival circuit because we just finished it. So, Sarah and I are really great collaborators, and I hope I get to work with her again. Very warms my heart.
Yeah. Well, thanks again, Sarah. Sarah. Now I'm gonna call you Sarah. Thanks again, Sydney.
Yeah, that happens.
The S girls. Thanks, Sydney. And I hope you have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you so much.